Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi,
Hello.
Naomi. How are you?
Yeah, doing well, thank you. Nice to be here on a breezy early start Monday morning.
Good. Welcome to the Crystal Cabin and to Network
Thank you.
Chief Health and Wellbeing Academy. Let's hear all about you. Do you want to introduce yourself and let us know what makes Naomi happy?
Yeah, sure. So most of you are familiar with who I am right now, but for those of you who haven't met me, I'm Awena-Naomie-Ella. And so I'm just going to talk a little bit about who I am rather than anything to do with my business,
Yeah,
and
good.
so that then you get to know a bit about me. Some of you will know I'm a bit of a wedding enthusiast. So my secret passions is like planning my hypothetical weddings, which I absolutely love. So big on like planning weddings, looking at gorgeous dresses, all that kind of stuff. I absolutely love it. Like, getting all those pin boards together. And that's basically how I spend some of my Saturday nights, which is a bit sad really, isn't it? But I'm quite happy on a Saturday night with a cup of Horlicks and a Pinterest board with wedding dresses.
Oh, we're rolling, rocking and rolling.
I'm so rock and roll, honestly. But yeah, that's one of my real kind of like, alone times where it's nothing to do with my house. It's nothing to do with my beautiful, wonderful, amazing child. It's nothing to do with my amazing business. It's just about me and my own kind of fantasy land and my own sort of relaxation from the end of the day. Is just plowing my energy into like planning my wedding. And but yeah, I do like doing real life stuff too, like going to the beach with my family and my boy and playing in the sand and building sandcastles together and camping, in a field with some friends. It's just makes me feel happy inside.
Fantastic. So it's your wedding that you're planning. So you're going to be a little princess, are you, on your big day?
Well, it's my hypothetical wedding. So basically I've already got married, but
Okay.
I'm having two weddings. So I got married at a registry office when I was 30 weeks pregnant, which wasn't exactly the sort of dream wedding that I'd planned. So I was halfway through planning my huge wedding, and I got my dress, and we've got the land, and we've got the tents, and we've got the food and everything. Like, because I've worked previously in the events industry and things like that, so I've got fingers in pies with all kinds of really cool stuff. So it was like I got it all sorted in 2 weeks. I got it arranged and booked and sorted within 2 weeks. I had everything done, and so then I felt pregnant, and the baby was due like 2 weeks before the wedding was going to happen, and I was just like, nah, not going to happen for many reasons. I want to have a baby rather than have a wedding. I don't want to focus on that. And yeah, I just knew it wasn't going to be right. So we did the whole registry thing. So this is like, when I say hypothetical wedding, I'm kind of planning my big wedding for when we can actually have a party.
Oh, lovely. Look forward to seeing
Yeah.
that. So tell us a
That'd be
little bit
great.
about your background. You touched there that you used to do something in planning. So do you want to go into a little bit more detail about that? What?
Yeah, so my background's quite interesting, really. It's almost like a split personality thing. So I'm an occupational therapist by trade, and that's what I've trained in. And occupational therapy, for those of you who aren't very familiar, is one of the most amazing professions that basically no one's ever heard of. Not even people in the health industry have heard or understand what OT is. It's a tricky one. But really, basically, it's about enabling people to engage within meaningful, purposeful activities to them that then promotes productivity, that then promotes self-awareness, then promotes self-confidence, and it helps people to achieve their goals. So whenever I'm working with someone through OT, it's really person-centered. It's very, very holistic. It's about their spirituality, environmental needs, and adjusting it as they move forward. So it's really gorgeous because you really connect with your clients with occupational therapy. You can move forward with OT sort of on this beautiful journey with them. So they're a trained occupational therapist, and that's what I do sort of by day. So by night, or at the weekends rather, I used to do a lot of festival performance. So I would go to like the big festivals like Boomtown, Glastonbury, all the other ones. And I did a mixture of things. So I would do like stage performance for like big stages, or I would run about. I'd be one of those people like in the audience who's in some sort of character, whether it was like some sort of weird burlesque kind of character, or whether it was like a sort of a funny like, old lady character, or a bunny or sexy bunny or something like that.
Wow.
So I was going like entertain the crowd. So I was really, really into that. I was really into like performance and entertainment, and I would have the best time. It was so much fun.
Good.
I had this awesome life where it was, you know, I was feeding my soul by nurturing the people that needed my help, sort of on that side mental health well-being side, and that really fed into my character of who I am. I'm quite a maternal kind of, I like to nurture and help people. And then of course at the weekends I would then be able to go out and be frolicky with my friends and just run about in a field and do that kind of stuff. So it was quite, but you wouldn't put the two together.
No,
You know?
no, that's amazing. That's fantastic. So how did you go from dressing like a sexy bunny, entertaining people at a festival, to drinking Horlicks on your pinboard on a Saturday night?
Oh no, I'm not sure what's happened to me, honestly.
Oh, bless you. Oh, thanks, Naomi.
Yeah, I think,
Go on.
yeah, to be honest, it was so much fun and I loved it, but it was exhausting. It's, for me, it wasn't sustainable. For some people it is, but for me, I had a really good life, you know, and I had a really good laugh, and that was my life for years. That's what I did. I didn't actually work as an occupational therapist in the summer because I was just going festival. So I'd live in a van, go to a festival, travel to the next one, go to the next one, travel to the next one, go to the next one. So it's quite a nomadic kind of like 3 months in the summer, and then I'd go and back to locum work and occupational therapy. I'd work, you know, really hard doing the odd event throughout the year, but then the summertime is where I would go and do all my sort of playtime. But well, I loved that, and it you know, it was so much fun, and I know there's loads of people like, oh my god, I'd love to do something like that. Yeah. For me, I kind of felt like something was missing. I kind of felt like, and what now? I kind of felt like there was a bit of a void missing somehow, and it was like I was getting a bit overdone with it. I was like, oh, get the energy to go and do performance again, and because it was just my life, it wasn't anything special anymore. It was just how I was in my life. And I've built amazing friendships from it, and I've had the most amazing experiences, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do forever. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So how did that lead you into and inspire to what you're doing now?
So basically, I mean, going back to like the whole Horlicks thing, how did I get to being a bit of a Horlicks nana on a Saturday from this like fabulous showgirl? No, I love it. It's a change, isn't it? So whilst I was sort of in this lifestyle of like, you know, I was earning really good money as an occupational therapist, I'm really quite adventurous, and I'm really quite what's the word? I'm adventurous, yes, but I'm also very like passionate, and you know, I want to do really, really well at what I do. So I loved my job, and I worked really hard at my job, and I went very quickly up the pay scale as an occupational therapist. So I was earning really good money, loving my job, working really hard, getting really high in the kind of OT world, having this amazing, flamboyant, ridiculous, hedonistic lifestyle in the summer, where I was like feeding both sides of my personality. But then when I met the love of my life, as you do, you meet the love of your life and you get pregnant within minutes. So I met the love of my life. And within about a year, we were engaged, and I then felt pregnant. So my life kind of from that point took a big turn.
Yeah. As
it does when you become pregnant. So our lifestyle that we had, I knew that wasn't going to be what it was for a little while. So I got pregnant, grew, did less and less of all the stuff, and I wasn't really working by the end. Obviously I wasn't doing any of the fun stuff by the end. And then when I had my baby, about 3 days in, I fell really heavily into a state of postnatal depression, I guess, of anxiety, overwhelm, fear, regret. I'd hated it. I hated my life. I couldn't believe what I'd done. I couldn't believe that there was me sat there on the sofa with this baby, and because I'd always wanted to be a mum, I was so expecting this like experience to be like Disney, you know, like fireworks going off every 5 minutes in my mind, and just this amazing bond and connection and love. And when none of that happened, it crushed me. And it didn't last for just 3 days. It went on for months and months and months and months. And then to the point of when I was 10 months in, after and I think it makes more sense knowing my background of now going into motherhood. It's again wildly different. I wasn't earning any money. I wasn't able to go back to work, and I was always earning money. I was always doing that. So big role identification shift.
Yeah.
Huge loss of independence, huge loss of that fun lifestyle that I had. I suddenly realized that I wasn't going to be that fit tone size 12 bouncing around in fancy spandex on stage anymore. I was here like 3 or 4 stone heavier with milk splurging out all over the place, like absolutely no greasy hair, like no connection to my fabulous lifestyle whatsoever. And I just felt like I was in this totally different world that I wasn't expecting, and that I hadn't really, although I'd wanted to be a mum my entire life. I mean, everyone who knows me knows that I'm absolutely babies and wedding obsessed. But and because I expected that I was gonna love it so much, and then when I didn't love it, and then the guilt comes for like, why am I not being the mum that I'm supposed to be? Why am I not loving this? Why does everyone else enjoy it? Why am I not natural? Why, you question all these things. And when we become mums, of course we don't always know what to do, because we've never done it before.
No, you don't get
we've never,
do you?
You don't, and everyone's so different. So what might happen to your friend or someone on the telly or something like that is completely different to what's going to happen to you. And because I don't feel that we're really prepared in our society to really provide the woman with a sort of self-nurture toolkit, if you like, or understanding of what's happening to our bodies, our brains, our social, spiritual, psychological self-environments and physical environments, we're not really supported to reflect on ourselves in that way and instill these self-care habits and this awareness and compassion and understanding and acceptance. We're not taught about how to do that. We're taught about how to feed the baby, which of course we really need to do. We're taught about how to go, maybe go back to work, or we're taught about how to dress a baby or how to birth a baby, and it's all about the baby and it's not about the mum, and the mum gets left behind so much of the time without the proper care and support of how to self-investigate who you are now as a mum, and how to let go in a compassionate way of the past, and also welcoming this new in that really kind of honest, non-judgmental, safe way. So that's, after my breakdown, I kind of went through a bit of a breakthrough, in fact a major breakthrough, and I did some really significant things. So I tuned back into the universe and I surrendered everything that was going on with me over to the powers that be, and I let go. I learned to just literally just with a big breath of air, just let go of that stress of feeling anxious and worried, and allow myself to let go of that. I then started to do loads of self-investigation. So I started to tune back into what I really loved, what really made me tick as a woman. How am I going to get better sleep? How am I going to improve my life? How am I going to make my life work for me and my family? How is all this going to work?
Yeah.
Then I started to actually make that happen. So I started to think, well, I need an hour in the evening. So my mum would take I lived with my mum at this point. My mum would take the child, my baby, whilst I could then go and listen to the podcast that I wanted to listen to in a bath, for instance. And then my dad would take the baby out to a baby group, so that I had a couple of hours in the day to go back to yoga, do my thing, research what I wanted to do in my life again, read a personal development book. And I went back to yoga and I did nutritional therapy. So I spent this whole year kind of rediscovering who I was again in motherhood, and reconnecting with the woman that I was, but in her new context. And learning to really kind of embrace her and embody her and grow with her, and allow her to develop her needs, my needs of what do I want to do. I knew I didn't want to go back to work. That was the key thing for me. I was like, I love my job, I love what it is, I love the core values of occupational therapy, I love how it is, but there's no way that I want to be back in that 9 to 5. I can't do it. It's not me. I've never been the box lady. I've never been able to do the thing that society wants you to do. So I've never really fit, as you can probably tell, I've never really fitted into
I never said a word.
But after the whole story, I think it's my flamboyant lifestyle. yeah, so then basically after I'd done this huge transformation, there I was setting up a millinery business, because I'm also trained in millinery. I make fancy hats, and I don't really do that so much anymore, but I was setting up that business, and I realized that I don't love that. I wasn't like in love with doing that, and it wasn't really, for me, it wasn't really helping the people that I wanted to help. And then I reflected, and like a light bulb, like a thunderbolt came shooting down my body, and a realization of like, oh my God, I'm an occupational therapist. I'm an OT. What am I doing? I don't need to make hats for a living. I need to help people for a living. I need to help mums. I need to help mums who were feeling just like me, who are feeling overwhelmed, overstretched, overexhausted, totally confused, totally detached, totally lost. Oh my God, what do I need to do with my life now?
Yeah.
I need to help mums get through this in a really supportive, empowering way, so they can figure out like what they want to do in their life. If they want to build a business, what does that look like? If they want to go back to university, what does that look like? Even to like investigate what your needs are, what your passions are, what your purpose is, to then turn that into a business, to become the woman that you want to become.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
that's what I did.
Fantastic story, Naomi.
Yeah.
Amazing. The transformation, I think as soon as you said, when I just let go and released it, trusted in the universe, you've obviously got that spiritual connection already there that you tap back into. It really helps
Yeah.
it to go within for the answers, and to just allow yourself that time to be you for as long as you need to. But look where that's brought you, that transformation, that time of reflection, of learning was your path. Because look at you now. Do you want to tell us how your business now helps women in their well-being and mental health? I'm dying to hear all about you.
Yeah, sure. So now I'm running the Mama's Wellbeing Hub, which is going really, really well. So I opened that in COVID, at the beginning of COVID, because I knew that I needed to reach out to more mums and be able to help them through this really weird time that we're all going through, and to really support their internal wellness and their internal well-being. Now, when I first opened the hub, I wasn't quite expecting it, but actually it's predominantly 95% of the people in there are business women. So it's really supporting mums in business to really do the inner work, and to really do that inner self, so that we can keep thriving in our businesses, so that we can keep thriving at home. It's really focused on the self, which I think we really, really need as mums and mums in business. So how that really helps is that it really helps the woman to, carve out that time that's just for her personal development learning. But it helps with things like becoming a less stressed parent. It helps with learning how to deal with that. Sometimes we get really angry, which is normal in motherhood, and people get really guilty about the anger. But that's how I help. It's help to kind of deal with the internal dialogues that we've got going on as mums. And to turn those around for a healthy mindset. I don't always use the term positive mindset, because for me, I prefer a healthy mindset, because obviously positivity comes within that. But if we kind of try and be positive all the time, then we're just suppressing what else is going on. It's about acknowledging our emotions at the time that we're meet them with love and compassion, but then actually practically what can we do about it? So I help mums to kind of come to that awareness, but then use the practical steps of how they can then move forward, so that they are able to then manage more of their business, so that they are able to manage more of their childcare at home, their relationships, their bonding with their child, their partner even. And it really helps the mums to kind of, prioritize them. And enjoy that side. So I have a few little tips that I would then suggest would be really helpful, hopefully, to mums in business. Is that, I know we're probably going to go on to this in a moment, aren't we, anyway? But it's having those expectations of so when we become mums, we have all these expectations of what mum's going to be like. When we start our businesses, we have these expectations of what the business is going to look like, and how quickly we're going to get there, and what that's going to bring in for us financially, and what that's going to look like in terms of client base, how our website's going to be, what our products are going to look like, how people are going to feel, how we're going to be. And we have these expectations. So what I would really say there is to try not to put so many high expectations on ourselves as to what the outcome will be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because as we've all discovered over the last couple of months, we don't always know what's going to hit the world and our economy. And everything that we've got pre-planned could be then shaken up everywhere. So if we can meet those expectations with that acceptance and that kind of flexibility of change, that's going to really help to instill our kind of, gratitude for what we have, what we're able to do, improve our confidence with our ability to manage change, because oh my god, we can do that really, really well. But we don't always think that we can, but we can do it so well. And it's about kind of tune into that. And a good one here is to kind of look at how you've dealt with overcome the COVID and dealt with COVID situation, dealt with becoming a mum, dealt with starting up a business. Know that you can do these things, and then instilling that kind of confidence within the self as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Confidence is everything, isn't it, with moving forward? Otherwise you're just standing still doing the same thing. Yes. It sounds fantastic, Naomi, and to think that you've just said you really got stuck into this at the start of COVID, when normally people are worrying about their businesses closing down and coming to an end. You've really put this time to great use to help people who are struggling with business whilst being a mum, because we've got so much to juggle, just being a mum or just being in business, but obviously the combination of the two, absolutely. So you've managed to have clients come through for your help and support during the lockdown.
Yes. So I've had I've had an influx of people when I first opened the hub 3 months ago, which was really great, to be honest, because the hub is so new, and because it was Facebook based and it didn't have a fancy website then or anything, and all they had to go on was me saying, I'm an occupational therapist. I help to support you engage in meaningful purpose activities that are going to help you to thrive within and out of the home. I have a monthly session for that. I have a monthly session for personal development within that OT. I have a monthly session for yoga, nutritional therapy, guest experts, mindfulness, meditation, and mindset.
Fantastic.
So then I sold it as that, which is what it was, and people believed in that. So obviously they came in. What's happened from that is the mums have really been able to harness that and are really, really, loving almost, it's kind of like educational and informative at the same time as being supremely practical. So it's about that inner wellness. It's like that whole, because I'm an OT, I like everything to be holistic. And so you get that kind of education, informative understanding and awareness of what's happening with our brains neurologically, but also our bodies biochemically and our environments. Learning spiritually how to kind of surrender and acceptance and tune into the universe and manifestation, all this kind of stuff, as well as doing the yoga, looking at your nutritional health. And then the guest experts obviously bring their spikes of expertise in within that as well. But now they've been going through this process, which has been fantastic, and now it's all on the website, and I've got this fancy website and it just looks absolutely amazing. So now I'm about to relaunch again in the next couple of weeks, and it's been really interesting to see that the mums who have been in their first couple of years of business, of this transitional phase of learning to grow and develop in their businesses, but also grow and develop as families, as business women in families, because that's a whole nother dynamic, isn't it? Because now you're not just mum, you're mum owning business, and it's like, it brings a different layer to the table, really.
That's an amazing story for how something has just started off 3 months ago and is now woo. But the package that you offer is so complete, as you said, it's holistic. It covers everything. So there's so much to offer. Well done, Naomi. That's amazing. You must be really proud of yourself, and so you should be. I can see you sparkle when you start getting into the enthusiasm about what you're doing. So it's going to be really successful. You can see that. And we're loving listening to your Wellbeing Wednesday as well, for all the tips that you're giving us there. So thanks for that. So coming out of lockdown, what will that look like for you going forward? You just touched on it. You gave us some lovely hints and tips there. Thank you. And then you touched to say that I'm just about to relaunch. What does the relaunch or the launch look like for you? How are you going to go out?
Yeah, the launch is relaunching because now it's on the website, and now because it's a bit different, because when I launched it in the first place, I knew I could see how it was going to work, but obviously before it's actually done it, there's a bit of you that's like, oh, I really do hope this works. Because I could see it so clearly. And now obviously I've been in it for 3 months. We've all been in it for 3 months. I'm like, wow, this really is incredible. This is like absolutely phenomenal, because it's really helping these mums to create that space and time for them, and they're thriving in areas that they didn't even think they were going to be able to thrive in. And they're just, things are more with ease, and they're in that flow. So what this looks like now is, it's, for me as a businesswoman, it's a lot more visibility. I'm getting a lot more edging towards being in the press. I've got a lot more visibility over different channels. So obviously I'm part of Network She. I've been doing some work for Cheshire Socialites. Last week I won a Influential Businesswoman Award, which is fantastic. So I have an award for Most Innovative Maternal Wellbeing Businesswoman of 2020.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah,
which is
amazing.
Great.
Well done.
Thank you. I was really, really pleased when I said I'd won. Yeah. So there's a lot going on now, and it's really moving forward, and it's really kind of spreading out, and I'm speaking to a lot more women who kind of run the doula side of things and the maternity nurses, because I'm sort of like the aftercare, if you like, of that kind of ilk. So not only am I able to reach out through this launch now to mums who are in my vicinity on my free groups and my pages and my spaces, but also the business mums who I'm working with in all these amazing network spaces, because I know now that the influx of business women that came through, that actually it's been incredibly supportive for mums in business. And it's also really great to support other people's professions and give them a platform to then come in and say, hey, I'm a breastfeeding consultant, I'm a hypnobirthing therapist, I'm a maternity nurse. They can come and see my ladies, because I've got loads of pregnant ladies and ladies with new babies in my spaces, and then I go into their spaces, and then they know about me and I know about them, and it's like, it feels like this whole new world is opening up in levels and ways that I didn't even expect it to. So this launch is already feeling so much different. So, in terms of kind of going forward and like how I'm kind of reintegrating myself into society is just expanded completely into like I said, into ways that I wasn't even expecting when I first sort of started this. So that feels really, really good. It feels like I'm able to help more people, and I'm helping people in ways that I didn't even realize I was helping them, which is like, wow, how amazing is that?
It is amazing, absolutely amazing. It's fantastic, and there's nothing quite like it anywhere else, is there? I've not heard anybody doing anything similar, so it's very unique, especially the amount of the package that you've got available. Where are you based, Naomi? Where could we find you?
So I'm based in the Forest of Dean, but I am online. All my stuff is online. So all my one-to-ones I do online, so I have like a signature program. So basically just really, really quickly touching upon the beginning part of my story, when I created my business, because I created my business out of my own transformation as a mum, as my own transformation of self-investigation, and my own transformation from an occupational therapy point of view too. So that I turned into a 6-pillar process of ultimate well-being for mums, which is the backbone of my business. I've totally lost track of what I'm saying there, but yes. That's one-to-one. That's when I started the one-to-ones. That's it. Now I'm back. I've got it. It's Monday morning, but I'm there. So that's where the one-to-one started. But it's morphed. It's morphed into this like incredible beast of a business, really. From going from just one-to-ones to now, I have mini courses that I sell. I have free spaces that are getting bigger all the time. I'm going to be running group programs, and also going to be running retreats as well, which Mama Wellbeing Day retreat. So I'm going to be hopefully doing one around October time. it should be fantastic. So
yeah, amazing. Oh, it sounds fantastic. Absolutely incredible. Really enjoyed meeting you, hearing about yourself and your story and your business. And I'm looking forward to seeing it, just as you say, this beast, this monster, this just going on and on and on. Amazing. Thank you. It's a really good cause as well. You know, it's daunting when you first have a child in business. I was running pubs and restaurants at the time, and I think I went in on the Wednesday, came out on the Friday, and Friday night is on my knee and I'm cashing up. And it's really frightening because they don't come with a manual. You're absolutely right. And although there's friends and family and support, it is all down to you. And there's a massive expectation on you as the individual, and you put that expectation on yourself too. I could have 22 years ago, love, I could have done with you then and your services. So thank you on behalf of all working mums.
You're very welcome. The amount of times I have that said to me, it's unbelievable. I'm really glad that it's out there now, because it's about tuning into you. And actually, you've hit the nail on the head. When we're mums, we are so vulnerable that we are taking in every single chapter of every single book that we read. We're really listening to what our friends and family are suggesting, but the thing is, that's their story, that's their experience with their babies and their lives. And what I think we're kind of been lacking is that self-empowerment of, what do you think? What does your gut tell you? Because for another story, there's a whole gut brain link, and we are tuned in with our maternal instincts, but of course we are so vulnerable and so like, oh my god, what we're doing, we're so shaken up that we lose that internal self-belief and that internal self-confidence because we're exhausted and we're sleep deprived. So of course we're going to lose it. But it's about tuning in back to that and really harnessing your inner strength and trusting within that, and that's when the magical stuff happens. That's when the magic stuff happens. So
fantastic. And magical it really is. So fun. I'm so looking forward to meeting you in person when we can all play out again. I'm sure there'll be a gathering within Network She. I keep saying this, amazing. So it's got to happen.
Let's make it happen. I love that. Yes, I would love that. I mean, oh my god, we're going to go on the biggest hug fest ever as soon as we can.
Definitely. Be like you, having you back in a festival, you can always come in your burlesque outfit.
Well, god, I don't fit into them anymore. No way.
Oh, lovely to meet you, Naomi. And as I say, our paths will cross again, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the wellbeing, health and wellbeing part of She going forward. So take care, have a fabulous week, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.